As we all know, keeping an organized kitchen isn't always easy. So today I'm sharing some of my habits and routines that I use to keep my kitchen as organized as possible. The best thing to do when organizing is to make sure that you are setting everything up in a way that works for you and your family, and that's going to look different for everyone. I'm currently looking through all of my baking ingredients just to make sure everything is still up to date and in the proper place. Also, thank you to Thrive Market for sponsoring this video, but more on that later. Since we use these Ninja blender supplies every day, I like to go through this basket often to make sure everything is in the right place and we're not missing anything. Quickly going through each cupboard, making sure everything is still organized how I want it. I just moved one of our larger cast iron pans down below because I find myself not using it as often right now, and I just want to get it out of the way so this is a really functioning area that we use all the time. I've found through the years the easiest way to stay organized is to have less. So anytime I'm looking to organize an area in my kitchen or in my home, I look to see what can be decluttered, what I'm no longer using that I can get rid of to add more space to an area. Having a small but deep pantry means I need to get creative. In the front, I use bins to organize like items. Here I have all the baby food, and then I have the snack bin for my boys that can get their snacks. And then at the back, I've put the canned food items. And on the right, I have a bin with oils and cooking syrups. And that's how I organize this. Next, we have our most used breakfast foods and then rice at the back. And down here is where I store all of our backup bottles because I like to buy a lot of things in bulk to save money. And this is just the area that's best to store this down where we are not getting at it as often. At the very bottom, I store our bulk items and then refill the bins as needed from this area. Here's a really good example of why every once in a while I just like to peek in all the cupboards and make sure everything is still organized how I want it to be and functioning in a really great way. I had this cocktail mixer up over here, which really doesn't make sense because I have all of our cocktail glasses up here. So I'm going to put this with everything else and just make sure everything is in order over here. This is our most used drawer. We have all our silverware, straws we use every day. We use these. I'm going to take everything out of here and just clean this out because I can tell there's a lot of crumbs in here and it's looking kind of dirty. One habit I have is as I am cleaning my kitchen, so for instance, cleaning out this drawer organizer and getting all the crumbs out, I can also go through and make sure that we are still using everything in this organizer, all the silverware, and get rid of all the stuff that we don't need. So I'm actually going to be decluttering all these little to-go spoons and forks and baby stuff that we don't need. One thing I always like to do is reevaluate every space every once in a while and just make sure that everything is organized in a way that makes sense, because we moved in here a little over 3 years ago. And of course, when you first move into a place, you just throw everything into the drawers and put it into the spot that you think is going to be the best. And sometimes I find that we just leave it that way for a really long time. In our last home, we put everything in there when we first moved in, and I don't think I moved anything for about 5 years. So looking back, that was a learning lesson, and now I like to reevaluate things often to make sure that it is functioning for our lives right now. I love to store similar items together, so this is all of our food storage items. When I bring some vegetables home and clean it, I store it in these glass containers. But I've realized it's better to put the lighter items at the back and the heavier items at the front. I decided to take these heavy glass baking dishes out because they were too heavy to get out from the back. Ever since decluttering, I just love how much more space I have between the items and how much easier it is to get to everything. I'm so excited. My Thrive Market order just came and I'm gonna open it now. And it just so happens that Thrive Market is sponsoring today's video. Let's see what I got in here. Thrive Market is an online membership-based program that is trying to make it easy and affordable for people to get healthy food. Organic groceries can be very expensive, and by choosing to shop through Thrive Market, I am saving up to 30%. Now that it's fall, I ordered some chili. I love Amy's organic chili. I also got some rice and quinoa mixes. They had our vegan mac, and this is sometimes hard to find in the stores. Thrive Market is also good for the planet. If your order is over $49+, your shipping is free. And for every paid annual membership, Thrive Market donates a membership to a family in need. I can't wait to try these almond flour chocolate chip cookies. And when you're ordering, the great thing is you can filter what you want to buy by your diet. And that makes it so easy to shop over 90+ diets and values. Click the link in my description box or go to thrivemarket.com/Shannon Torrens to receive a free $60 gift when you join Thrive Market today. I'm gonna put this stuff away now. We just got back from picking up my son. But if you're a busy parent like I am, or you live far from a grocery store, Thrive Market makes life so much easier. These are two of our most used shelves. We have all of our bowls here and the lids, which is perfectly organized. Then here we have our coffee and tea because our water kettle is right here. And it's the most convenient area to the sink to get ready in the morning. So we just have the few coffee cups we use here, but up here is more of a storage area because it's so high I can't really reach it very easily. But I do want to organize that a little bit better. I actually took these cups that my mom ended up decluttering. They were a family cup that was passed down to her. I thought they're really cute, and I want to start using these for whenever we have company over. So I want to put these in here so I can easily grab them out without them falling over. Keeping it in the box so it stays fresh, but here are all the teas. These 3 bins hold medication and vitamins and flashlights, but you would not believe what gets thrown into them. So I do like to go through these often just to make sure everything is in its right place. While I was organizing my kitchen this week, we also had my son's birthday, so part of that was baking a cake. You're soon to see what happened with this cake. It was pretty funny how it all turned out. But I am baking a box cake where I substituted something else for the egg. I have successfully made this recipe before, so I'm not sure what happened this time, but I was laughing pretty hard when the cake came out. Since I got some fresh bread flour from Thrive Market, I wanted to make some fresh bread, so I'm doing that as well. We love to make homemade fresh bread when we have time. My kids love it and my husband loves it. We eat it almost immediately, but sometimes I just struggle to find the time to make it, but when I do, I just love it. Now I'm just tidying up so I can get the cake out of the bundt cake pan and frost it. And as you'll see here, the cake looks great. It looks completely normal. And I even greased this bundt pan. I've used it many times. It's non-stick, and normally the cake just falls right out. And I'm struggling here. You can see I get another tool and I'm trying my hardest. Oh my God, it's a fail. For some reason at this point, I thought I could still salvage this cake, but I finally realized once it all popped out that that was not going to be happening. There was no way I could paste this thing back together with frosting. Oh my gosh! What in the world? It's okay. No. Look what happened. Come in. Oh my God, what is that? The cake. Once I realized that that cake was never going to work, I quickly started making a from scratch chocolate cake from the Oh She Glows cookbook that I love and have made this cake so many times. I knew it would turn out great, and it did. It was absolutely delicious, and I'm so glad I took that time to just make something else. Yesterday I organized that side of my kitchen, and now I'm gonna spend a few minutes organizing this side of the kitchen. Sometimes it's just easier to break projects up. I've been using these organizational bins for a different drawer that I switched up. So I'm gonna see if I can use these to organize down here in this corner. Recently I reorganized this drawer so it is in perfect organizational order still, and I'm very happy with it. We use all of this stuff less often, but it's more of office type stuff, pens and tape and barbecue stuff. All right, so up here I have bowls that we don't use as often, but I still want to keep and do use when we have big parties. These are nets that we pull out all the time when we eat outside. Down here I just have my large spaghetti pot and my bread maker, which is really easy to pull out, make some bread, and then I have my emergency water back there. This little food processor was handed down to me to make food for Levi, and then I had been saving the baby food jars. I find myself not doing this. I just don't really have the time for it. And also the food I make just didn't turn out quite right. So I think I'm gonna get rid of this. We're nearing the end of really pureed food anyways, so I'm gonna let this go. What I wanna do is make a little more room up here by moving this salad spinner. Now that I got rid of that baby puree thing, I can put this here, and now there's way more room and space. Since we have such a small pantry, and here is where I keep our bigger backup stuff. This is the most unorganized cabinet of them all, and it's where I would like to integrate these items that I took out of the other cabinet the other day. This cabinet is a little hard to organize because I have a lot of different things going on in here, but the good thing is that all of these things I don't use super often. So this is the perfect place for them because they're out of the way. And if it's a little less organized, it's not the end of the world because, like I said, I'm not having to get in and out of this cupboard very often. But I now have this container to work with, and I have these two bins that might be easier just to put things in to pull out since it's a deep cupboard. Honestly is barely ever used. I think I'm gonna tuck it out back into this corner. hard to see in here, but I've just put these in this tray to keep it a little better organized. This is organized so much better. I've just put the things I don't use as often at the back, kind of backup storage containers, and then I just use these two so I could pull things out easily and helps keep everything contained. And then down here, I've just put the things that I don't use as often towards the back, things that I use more often, like my banana bread that I need to make probably today, in front. Then around here, this is this weird hidden corner area. That is all party stuff, like paper plates, napkins. We don't use that very often. And then back here, we have our coffee maker we don't use very often, and we have the cupcake holder. Now that all the organizing is done, I can go through and just tidy up and clean my kitchen a little bit. But it feels so good to have that routine and habit to go through my kitchen every few weeks and maybe once a month, depends on how much time I have. Make sure I still want to have everything that I have in here. I did end up wanting to declutter that one item, and then just make sure everything is in its right place. The good thing is it helps us to keep our kitchen running smoothly, and we can find everything when we go to look for it. Don't forget to check the link in my description box and go to thrivemarket.com/Shannon Torrens to receive a free $60 gift when you join Thrive Market today. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!